Welcome, friends. Well, here we are. We're at the end of week 3. And I was wanting to do another video because a lot of people have been in this program have been expressing to me where they're blocked. Like they want to create something. Generally, they're thinking about some new income stream that they want to create. And yet, or some passion project. And yet they're feeling uninspired or blocked. And I thought, yeah, I really want to say something to this problem. And so I was thinking about what kind of video I wanted to make, and I thought of making a video about something I call comfort zone discomfort. Because the issue is that when we're stretching ourselves, we have to step outside our comfort zone. But that is really uncomfortable. And that's why a lot of people won't do it. And so, and yet you can't really achieve the success that you're looking for unless you're willing to step outside your comfort zone, to stretch yourself, to take a risk. But a lot of times when we do that, we do experience discomfort. And there can be different levels of discomfort, from mild discomfort to extreme discomfort. So, I was thinking about it, what could I say about it, but still felt kind of like too much in my head, it felt theoretical, even though I know I've been through it before. I know it's true. And yet I couldn't really touch in with the deep energy of that experience. And then something happened in the past 48 hours that really brought it to life. Now we're having a living example of this. Okay. So I made a video yesterday, and it triggered a lot of people. And I kind of knew that it was controversial, and maybe I was going to really stretch people. And yet I felt like it was something that I needed to do, because I really want to get out of this paradigm of right and wrong and knee-jerk reactions, and especially, having our reactions constantly driven by fear, and see if we could pull back from that. My reason was because I had seen a video where the government of China had locked down the city of Wuhan, which is bigger than New York City, and put the whole city into lockdown over the coronavirus. And it was like this really totalitarian response, and like using Nazi Gestapo tactics. And I thought that seemed a lot scarier to me, to live in a country with that kind of totalitarian force. And I thought, wow, that's way scarier to me than death. Honestly, I was just speaking the truth, and thought maybe we should, look at this more deeply. And anyway, it ended up triggering a lot of people. And so I chose to take down the video and issue an apology. And I'm totally fine with that. I feel like it was the responsible thing to do. But the interesting thing for me was to see my own reaction, like how I responded emotionally within myself, because I stretched myself. I pushed the envelope of my comfort zone, and I tried to push the envelope of other people's comfort zone by asking them to think more deeply about this. And it really triggered a lot of people. And so it brought up feelings in me, like it triggered my own feelings of vulnerability and woundedness, fear, shame, all of those things. And so I thought deeply about this experience of when we put ourselves out there and we stretch beyond our comfort zone. This is the kind of thing that can happen. It can lead to success, but also it can lead to a feeling of vulnerability and fear and shame. And so we have to be honest about this, okay? Because in every success, interwoven in that is the possibility of failure, discomfort, triggering someone, people coming at you with the things like, especially a YouTube channel. I mean, it's just so there on the surface. You trigger people, they don't like what you say. You get trolls and haters. That's actually part of the success. And learning to navigate that and to alchemize that, it can be really challenging. And that's why, creating a YouTube channel is challenging in itself, but that's actually one of the most challenging things, is to deal with that energy that comes at you. That's why there are fewer creators than there are consumers of content on YouTube. So anyway, yeah, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for success, and then there's also the challenges that go with it. So if you want to be successful, you have to stretch, you have to step outside your comfort zone, and then you have to deal with the actual discomfort. Like I said, it can range anywhere from mild discomfort to extreme discomfort. And today, for me, it was pretty extreme. And so I really thought deeply about what that means and what I can say about that, because we're not talking in theory anymore. We're talking about a real life experience, you know, of stretching beyond the comfort zone, and the discomfort that can come from that. That's a very real thing. And I'll bet you all of you have experienced that from time to time. When you took a risk because there was something that mattered to you and you felt it was the right thing to do, and you stretched beyond your comfort zone. Sometimes we do it after we've given it a lot of thought. Sometimes it just happens spontaneously in the moment, just because it feels like the right thing to do. It's authentic. And yet we can end up getting this reaction, this blowback, you know, like you reached your hand out and you got burned, or you got rejected, you know, and then how do we deal with that? And so I want to talk about how we go about alchemizing that feeling so that we don't give into fear and run back into the comfort zone, okay? Because that's really just pushing it all back into the shadow. And, you know, we've been talking about the shadow these 3 weeks, and about how the shadow is actually our power. And so what you want to do is, when this kind of experience comes up, you really want to work with that energy, that material, and alchemize it to turn it into power. So, so again, the primary feeling that you're probably going to experience, and I'm sure you've experienced it in the past, is vulnerability. And with vulnerability comes fear and shame. And sometimes that can even like get really excruciating. It can even turn into self-loathing and things like that. And so, and this is real, you know. I know every single one of us in this program have experienced that, you know, and I'm grateful that I had this opportunity, as difficult as it was, because I have a real life experience to share with you, and for us to explore together about those feelings of vulnerability when we stretch beyond our comfort zone. And so so I'll just share with you, you know, what I did to alchemize it. So first of all is just to be able to acknowledge how I felt, you know, and give myself empathy around that, and to talk to people that I trusted, and not to go into story about right and wrong. See, the fact is, nobody did anything to me. Nobody did anything, you know. It's just like stuff just happens, you know. It's not like there's an intention to do something to someone. Stuff just happens. And so nobody did anything to me. But I felt it, because it wasn't the reaction I was intending. And so I was really uncomfortable with the way things, with the results. But that's in me. Nobody did anything to me. It's just in me. We all have this wounded child inside of us, and we all have this vulnerability inside of us. We all want to make other people happy. You know, we're just we naturally want to please other people, make them happy. And so when that doesn't work out, that can really hurt. And when we offer things to the world, you know, like whatever it is that you're trying to offer to the world, you know, is it a new business you want to create, or is it a website you're trying to create? Or, you know, actually, I mean, several of you have shared with me the ideas that you have, the businesses you want to create, a new career you want to create, and that you're feeling blocked. And you're blocked primarily by fear of that vulnerability. And sometimes we push it away. We don't want to acknowledge it. And we say things to ourselves like, well, I'm tired and I don't have time. And it's not that those things aren't true, but they can sometimes be a way of not looking at the truth about how vulnerable we actually feel. And that we're scared to step outside of our comfort zone again. We're scared to be vulnerable again because of the fear that we'll be rejected, you know, or that people won't like what we have to offer. And it doesn't even have to be specifically about the thing you're creating. It can be something from the past, a woundedness from the past, but that's still so alive in you, even in your subconscious. So another thing I learned about this experience wasn't just, you know, how painful it is when you do step outside your comfort zone and take a risk, and how to work with that to alchemize it, but this idea of pushing it aside, you know, not acknowledging the truth about why we're not doing things. So, you know, I've been talking about this novel I wrote. It's a science fiction novel, and I've been trying to get it published, but I haven't been able to send out queries or submissions. Even the agents that I met at the conference who asked for it, I still haven't been able to send it out. And I keep telling myself, I'm too busy, I'm tired, and this and that. And I realized today that no, the truth is, it's fear. It's fear of being vulnerable. And I'll bet you if you look deep enough, that's what you'll find deep down inside, and that you're struggling with too. So let's talk about these feelings of fear and vulnerability and shame, because shame will come up too if we get rejected, if we perceive ourselves as getting rejected. That those fears and vulnerability and shame will come up, and it hurts. And really, there's really only one thing you can do, and that's to just try to be with it, not push it away, not give in to the fear, but to work with it, to stay with it, to give it compassion and empathy, to embrace it with compassion and empathy, and to stay with the discomfort, and to use any self-care tools that you have. So I was lucky that I not only experienced the reprise from people who are very angry with me and upset with me for what I said, but also an outpouring of just incredible love and support. And it meant so much to me, so much to me. And I really took that in. And also, since today was supposed to be my day off, and I knew I was going to go hiking because it was a beautiful sunny day, blue sky. And so I did go ahead and go hiking, and really did the best I could to enjoy moving my body, getting the air, the fresh air flowing through me. Breathing helps so much, you know, getting out there in nature and exercising and just clearing yourself out with that clean air and the sunshine, and you know, touching in with the unconditional love of divinity, and just unconditional love in general, you know, because when it comes down to it, if there's nobody left but ourselves, we can give ourselves unconditional love, and we can trust that divinity loves us unconditionally, and that there are divine beings, our divine guardians, who do love us unconditionally. So so what I'd like to ask of you, see, originally when I was going to do this video, I was going to suggest, like, do something that stretches yourself, you know, step outside your comfort zone. And then I thought, well, probably, you know, life always gives us an AFGO, which is another bleeping growth opportunity. And sure enough, it showed up, you know. So it'll show up. You know, if you're willing to stretch yourself at all, it'll show up. You got plenty of material to work with. So what I'd like you to do, if you're willing, is you're certainly welcome to email me. I so appreciate it when I receive emails. People tell me about what they're working with during the week, what they're struggling with. It helps me tremendously to know how this work that I'm offering to you, how it's resonating with you, and what you're still needing from me. And this is an ongoing conversation here, because we're all growing together, and we're all working toward freedom And so we need to understand that it's not just a numbers game. It really goes to the core of our being, and our deepest sense of vulnerability, and working with that to be able to move forward and have success. So what I would love to ask of you is if you would be willing, when you watch this video, to click on the YouTube button. There should be a place on the screen, like on the line below, where you can actually click on YouTube, and it'll take you over to YouTube. And then you can leave comments below. And that way we can get some conversation going amongst the students, okay? Because I have had some people say, yes, they do want to interact with this community, and share your stories and share your struggles, and, you know, just get more like cross conversation around this, more voices coming into the circle. And I would love that too. So if you're willing to do that, that would be awesome. If you're willing to share, you know, some challenges that you have had in the past, how you worked with them, or what you're struggling with now and how you're working with it. And if you have questions, you know, post your questions, and anybody can answer them with their own knowledge. We all have knowledge to share. So if you'd be willing to do that, I would love that. And otherwise, I'm still taking deep breaths today. Okay, so I'm going to bring this video to a close, and I will see you again when we start week 4 on Sunday. So thank you all so much. It's really a gift to me to be able to share this experience with you, and I hope that you were able to learn a lot from it, and that you'll share with me and with the rest of the students what came up for you in watching this video. All right, thanks so much, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.